Martin-Kilgour here, and I'm making a recipe for the Mountain Rose Herbs recipe contest. It's going under the category medicinal herbal recipe, and it's going to be called the Raw Chocolate Elixir of Longevity Ice Cream. So that sounds complicated, but it's going to be very simple. It's going to be made in a blender, so if you don't have a Vitamix, that's the ideal way of making it, but you can do it in other blenders if you have a tamper, which is an item to press the ice into the bottom of the blender, which blends it up and makes it the ice cream, but there's other models of blenders that can do this, of course, as well. And of course, all the ingredients that I'm using in this recipe, I've got links below if you want to find any of them or all of them online. You can order them that way. And here I'll show you the herbal tea base that I made in advance and froze in ice cube trays. That's going to be the basis for the ice cream. So here it is. So this is the herbal tea base that I'm brewing for the Chocolate Elixir of Longevity ice cream. And it is 4 different herbs that can all be found at martin-kilgour.com. You can see that there's 2 astragalus roots in there. It's actually 1 that I broke in half, so it's 1 whole root that's been snapped in half. And this is what they look like whole. They look kind of like a tongue depressor. And astragalus is great for maintaining a strong immune system. And of course, the other herbs I have in there are 1 teaspoon of schisandra berries, which is a Chinese tonic herb for beauty and longevity and sexual vitality. And of course, there's also epimedium, which is horny goatweed, and there's 1 tablespoon of that in there. That's like a green leaf that's been coarsely dried and coarsely chopped. And then there's finally also the hushu wu, which is at the bottom, you can't see it, and that's a Chinese tonic as well that is used for longevity. It's high in zinc. It's known to build what's known as yin jing. It's the kidney energy. So this is a Jing ice cream for sure. This is a Jing tonic tea recipe here, and this is going to be fantastic for anyone wanting to maintain the vital essence in their body for maintaining long-term health and energy levels. One thing I forgot to mention in that last clip was that the water I used in the decoction was fresh spring water, so I'm also going to use a tiny bit of spring water at the bottom of the blender first before I add the ice cubes. So that's going to be about half a cup of water, or a quarter to a half cup. And you really don't want to go too much on the water, otherwise you're going to end up with a slushy and not an ice cream. Now, the next things I'm going to add is 4 tablespoons each of hemp seed and chia seed. And of course, this just helps make the ice cream more of a meal, which is nice because you can eat it and feel satiated. And of course, the chia seed is going to help really add some soluble fiber, which makes the ice cream very smooth. And it helps make the ice cream a little more gelatinous, which is quite traditional in the sense for this untraditional ice cream recipe. So we're going to blend this up so that all the bits like this chia seed and hemp seed are going to be blended up, and they're not going to be in chunks in the ice cream, because once we add the ice cubes and anything else frozen that you want to put in, it's not going to blend as long. So to blend the coarser bits ahead of time, you're going to end up with a smoother ice cream. One thing I actually forgot to add was a tablespoon of coconut oil, so I'm going to add that in and then just sort of re-blend it up. So yeah, right off the bat I'm going to add these ice cubes that I made with the tea. You can see they're a nice dark color from the tea. It's a really rich Chinese tonic adaptogenic herbal tea. I'm going to add all these in here. So yeah, we got the ice cubes in there, and next we're going to add a frozen pack of acai berry juice. And it's just the juice, there's no added sugar or anything. I'm currently on a no sugar diet, so I'm not eating any fruit, or sweet fruit, and no sugars, honey, etc. So actually acai is a very low glycemic fruit. It's like an olive in terms of its sugar content, so it's more like a vegetable or a lemon or something. But it's it's safe for diabetics, people with cancer, etc. I'm neither of those, but it's just a delicious thing to add in. High in antioxidants, helps your body to produce stem cells. And yeah, it pairs very well with chocolate because it's that Amazonian fruit that's often grows in the same region as the cacao tree, which is the traditional name for raw chocolate. So an alternative you can use is frozen blueberries, and also I'm going to sweeten it up a bit with stevia. And you have the option to use honey in that case, or honey and stevia, or maple syrup, or anything else you choose to use as a sweetener. But I'm just using no sugar items just for this recipe as a demonstration because that's what I'm currently doing. So we're adding 6 squirts of a stevia extract, organic of course, and then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. These are all just flavorings. And next we're going to make this chocolatey, so we're going to put 2 tablespoons of cacao nibs in. And because I'm adding it in after I blended up the bottom part with the hemp seed, etc., it's not going to chop up very coarsely, so you're going to end up with the chocolate nibs in chunks. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of bee pollen, which has very longevity enhancing properties. It's very high in minerals, very high in protein. And also, because it's a dehydrated bee pollen, it's also going to remain in chunks in the ice cream, which just adds to the fun factor, I guess you could say. And then any superfood powders that I'm adding are going to get blended in very easily because they're already a powder, obviously. So I'm adding 1 tablespoon of mesquite. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of maca. Maca is a Peruvian adaptogen, traditionally eaten with chocolate for thousands of years. And I'm assuming it's also been eaten with acai berry. And then 3 tablespoons of cacao powder, raw cacao powder. And this is really going to make it chocolatey. Makes the whole thing more absorbable because raw cacao has properties of dilating blood vessels in your digestive tract, so it enhances the absorption of any herbs you take with it. So it's almost like a delivery mechanism for any adaptogenic or medicinal herbs you're taking in any recipe, any food. It can be a dessert, obviously, that's what most people eat chocolate with, and it makes it taste better. It's a great way of masking the flavor of bitter herbs. Then we're going to add some herbal extracts, and these are again some Chinese adaptogenic herbs, or 2 of them are at least. And these can be found again at the link below. They're very high potency extracts, so we only need like half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of them. And I'm going to add a whole teaspoon because I'm really wanting this to be powerful. This is a teaspoon of 12:1 reishi mushroom extract. Reishi mushrooms, perhaps the king of Chinese herbs in terms of, they have a whole list of several thousand of the herbs, and reishi tops the list as being the most adaptogenic, the most easily used by anyone. There's no negative side effects with it. It's very immune potentiating, and it's also very rare and hard to find in the wild, but they have a way of cultivating it now. This extract is Duanwood reishi, which is the finest organic reishi, cultivated reishi you can get anywhere. And then the next item here is, I'm going to add a teaspoon of cordyceps powder. And this, although cordyceps is also a mushroom that is traditionally a parasite that grows on insects, and also has immune-enhancing and stamina-enhancing properties used by Chinese athletes and Olympians for many decades. And this is an 8:1 extract, again found at the same link. And then I'm going to add 9 shakes of a spice blend that I make. It's just a blend of cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, dried ginger root, and nutmeg. So it's sort of like a chai blend, and it makes anything you're making taste great, and it's very easy to use in a shaker that's pre-blended like this. And then last but not least, I'm going to add a teaspoon of shilajit, which is an Ayurvedic herb. It perhaps is the top adaptogenic Ayurvedic herb in their herbal system, and it also enhances the absorption of all the other herbs and minerals and constituents and nutrients in a dish that you're making. And it's said to be tonifying to the entire body. It can't be said to be specific for any one thing. It's just a great overall tonic. It can be used daily, and it also helps break up calcification in the body because it has fulvic acid in it. So here we go, we're going to blend it up. I've got my tamper here. If you don't have a tamper, I'd be very careful with what you stick in your blender. You don't want it to get chopped up. You definitely don't want to stick anything metal in your blender, as it can be very damaging to the blades. So I think it's ready. That was an intense time. Yeah, you definitely need the tamper and a Vitamix if you're going to be making this. You could try doing it in other ways, or perhaps there are other models of blenders that have tampers. Or you could use a traditional ice cream maker and just follow the same recipe. This might very well be the very best recipe I've ever made. It's got this alchemy of all these different herbal and superfood traditions from all around the world, and it just makes one amazing creation. So check it out for yourself. Try making an herbal chocolate ice cream, and stay tuned for more great recipes and other information on this channel and this blog as well.